afternoon, everybody, and welcome to your Destructoid news update for Thursday, January 9th, 2014. I am Max Scoville, wearing this hip new members-only jacket I got, and hanging out with some pineapples. I figured I would run down some of the latest gaming news, and I have to say it's something of a drought this time of year. Some people, Europeans, are still on vacation. So I will run down these facts for you at this very moment. On Tuesday, I told you guys about Evolve, which is the latest from Turtle Rock Studios, the guys who did Left 4 Dead. It's gonna be this month's Game Informer cover, which still isn't out, so we have no cool pictures to show you or any fun videos or anything like that, so I apologize for that. However, we do have some details by way of official Xbox magazine. They have learned that the different planets in the game, it's set in space, will be host to different objectives. And as we know, the game follows 4 players controlling humans, which have different classes, and 1 player controlling a monster, which presumably evolves over the course of the game. The 4 classes are Assault, Support, Medic, and Trapper, which are all pretty self-explanatory. The Trapper apparently is not a cool notebook with hip skateboarders on the cover. One of the monsters is called a Goliath. I'm not sure if there's gonna be different types of monsters. There probably will. But this one in particular, as the game progresses, he goes from kind of this more stealthy, smaller, kind of leaping, climbing type of animal to a larger one, up to 30 feet tall, that can, throw rocks and breathe fire and do cool things like that. But in order to grow, power-ups must be acquired by eating local animals. And so the people playing as humans who are tracking the Goliath will have to keep their ears open for the calls of these animals as the Goliath is consuming them. This sounds kind of interesting. It also sounds very complex and rather long form, but apparently matches will only last about 10 to 15 minutes. So keep an eye on that. I'm dying to see some pictures to know what these animals look like. I'm just picturing like a small Godzilla eating antelopes. I'm probably way off with that. In other next-gen news, the Farm 51, who are the guys behind Painkiller, Hell and Damnation, have released a trailer for their new game, which is called Get Even, which ambitiously aims to combine single and multiplayer together in a game that is striving for photorealistic graphics, and they've been 3D scanning environments and characters, and I have no idea what the game actually looks like because this trailer is just very stylized and vague, tells us very little about the game. We've got a few details. Apparently, the game revolves around kind of dreams and memories and things like that, and the way they're fusing the multi and single player is that while you're playing, I guess, the campaign, some of the enemies you are going up against might actually be other players, real human ones. So I don't know, still can't tell much about this from this trailer, but hey, sure is pretty. Back in July, a bunch of ex-SOCOM devs formed a studio called Special Operation Force Studios or something, and they kickstarted what's basically a spiritual successor to SOCOM, which is called H-Hour Worlds Elite, and we have the first pre-alpha footage of that, and it looks like a third-person military shooter. Again, this is very rough, they're still working on it, but they raised somewhere around $250,000, and clearly they have been hard at work with that money. In other Kickstarter news, or post-kickstarted news, I guess, Energy Hook, which is a game made by the guy who developed the beloved swinging mechanic in Spider-Man 2, has announced that it's going to be coming to PlayStation 4 and Vita. Not sure when, but it was posted on the PlayStation blog, so it seems somewhat official. That was funded quite easily because the goal was $1. He raised $40,000. I know a lot of people are really excited for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and we still have no release date on that or any cool new videos of Geralt stabbing stuff. But in the meantime, it has been announced that CD Projekt Red is working with a company called Fantasy Flight Games on an analog board game based on the Witcher universe. In this game, players can take control of Geralt, Triss, Dandelion, and then Yarp and Zigrin, and you can go around and level up and do quests and the sort of things that you can also do in a video game, but it is on this thing called cardboard, and you have to physically hold stuff to make it work. However, if that scares you, there's talk of an iOS and Android version in the works. Board games. If you guys frequent the same creepy dark corners of the internet that I do, then you might have heard about Senran Kagura Burst, which was a Japanese 3DS game that came out last November. This is kind of a whatever game. It's about some kind of anime-looking characters who are, fighting each other. But what really sets it apart is that they all are girls with huge breasts. That was actually apparently one of the kind of underlying ideas behind the game. The developer apparently just really wanted to see breasts in 3D on 3DS. However, for those of you who do not own a 3DS, good news for you, because there is another Senran Kagura game coming. It is called Dekamari Senran Kagura, and it is a rhythm-based cooking battle game featuring the same big-breasted women. Now, if a cooking game isn't your speed, or you figure that, you know, a series putting out one game at a time is just unambitious, well, good news, because there's also Senran Kagura 2 Deep Crimson coming to the 3DS. It is I guess a 3D kind of side scroller with the same big-breasted ladies. And also coming to PlayStation devices, there is Senran Estival Versus. There's still no details on that, but hey, there's jugs all around. Good job, Japan. Now, while we're discussing weird stuff to come out of Japan, there's an odd news story about a 28-year-old stepfather of a 9-year-old boy who forced him to play Grand Theft Auto 4 basically until he puked. This child was diagnosed with dysautonomia from apparent stress. The stepfather also abused the kid and called him really mean names and told him to kill himself. This was all while the mother was away working. And I just want to point out how different our cultures are, where here we've got 9-year-olds who are just so angry that their stepdads won't let them play GTA 4, and there are stepdads literally forcing children to play Grand Theft Auto 4. And I mean, I don't know, I'd probably barf too if I was forced to play GTA 4 right now, because 5 is out and it's so good. Anyway, that's all for today's news, I guess. If you'd like to learn more about news, then you should head to Destructoid.com, where very smart people have been using their brains and their fingers to make these words appear on the screen, whereas I've just been waving my arms around and saying them out of my mouth. See you guys next time.